For life.
There it is. And obviously, there's no...
I have one note, which is that I am going to be in Europe for the next 2 weeks.
Awesome. What are you doing in Europe? Where are you going?
I am going to Belgrade, Serbia, where I'm going to teach a workshop, and then I'm going to speak at a conference, and then my lady friend and I are going to go to Istanbul to hang out with some friends of mine for a little while and see some Turkish stuff.
Enjoy. That's a beautiful place of the world.
Yeah, I'm really. This is the second time I've been back. Actually, I went last year.
If you have an extra day, try to make it out to Dubrovnik, or Dubrovnik, Dubrovnik, or something like that. It's like one of the most beautiful beaches. If you just have a day trip, it's out in Croatia, but it's worth it.
Okay. Okay.
Check it out. Look at pictures first before you just take my word on it.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway, sorry, I don't want to delay podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Come on, podcast. Okay.
Oh, are we on the thing?
Doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, it says live right there.
Neato.
Wait, are we really talking power rankings? I guess we
Why
can.
not? Why not? They're funny.
Are we?
They are quite
I
fun.
mean, is that what we're going to talk about? I guess, yeah, that works.
No, let's talk about important games first, and then we can talk about power rankings.
Listen, we don't have
That sounds
a guest with me around, so we're going to have to be entertaining on our own, which is much harder.
Yeah.
Talk about whatever we can.
My bad. I didn't get a guest this week. Actually, I feel like it's...
No, we've had ones for the past, 7 weeks.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be every week, right?
Right. And we're starting to run up against the monthly limit, so guests always make things longer.
How do we run up against? I'm paying for this. I'm paying like $10 a month.
Oh, I just paid. Oh, say okay. So I sent this email out at some point. So apparently they changed their pricing structure in the month that we've been using Podbean, and what we were paying for was. It used to be 200 megabytes, and now it's 300 megabytes, and so now we're on the 300 plan. And I sent in that payment this last weekend, so we're good for the next month, I think.
So why are we still running low on time if we have more time now? How did that description?
Because this will be a 5 podcast month.
Got it. It all makes sense now.
All right, let's go.
Let me bring you guys back up full screen here. Stop looking at my bank account, and we'll do this. All right, everybody, welcome back. We just finished week 3. This is /MLS cast. For some reason, Ian's smiling at me like a real weirdo, so let's get right down to it. My name is Chris. I am Reddit username PatLanux11.
Who's next? Nobody ever knows who's next. It's
Dennis.
Dennis. Okay.
Is it? I might have a different order than you guys down here. That's why.
We always have a different order. You're always last.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're the next in the alphabet, so.
It's alphabetical.
Oh, okay, so. Hi, I'm Dennis.
Masterful.
Do you want to just start from scratch to make it a little easier for you?
Hey everybody, welcome back to /MLS cast. This is the end of week 3, and Ian's still smiling at me like a weirdo. I am Chris, username PatLanux11 on Reddit.
Hi, my name is Dennis, resident Canadian. Username is Denmar on Reddit.
I'm Ian, username Armascarru.
And I'm Josh, username 97227ist.
Want to remind everybody that you can find us on iTunes now. We're iTunes official. We finally got ourselves added to that site that most people don't have any trouble adding their podcasts. We're also on Stitcher for anybody on Android or anyone with a general vendetta against Macintosh products. That's what they still call them, right, guys? And we're also on Twitter. Ian, what's our Twitter handle?
It's just @/MLS.
@/MLS. That makes sense.
And if you write things at it, Ian will respond.
Ian will respond to you directly.
Yes. He will be so excited.
So it's probably a group effort. If he says something horribly offensive, it's all on him.
Yeah.
You guys,
And honestly,
what's up?
I was gonna say, I'll honestly probably respond using my Twitter. But
Oh, come on! You gotta stick with the brand.
I know.
Branded.
Yeah, we gotta grow the
branding
brand. I understand.
All right, guys, we're a couple of marketing professionals, but let's stop for 1 minute to talk about the MLS. We had a couple of exciting games across Week 3. Where should we start?
Toronto, DC.
Toronto, DC, because we have.
What? No, we don't have to. I mean,
Yeah, we should, but we should.
I think we should.
I think it's time.
Well, I think we can talk. I think we can talk about it. It's pretty much the same conversation we had last year about DC, but
No.
all new Toronto.
So as far as I know, Toronto and DC played, and the black team scored more goals than the white team.
Correct.
So I think we won, right?
I think I watched that game for 10 minutes thinking that DC was Toronto and Toronto was DC.
Where did you guys get black jerseys? That's totally not fair.
Everybody has black
fantastic.
jerseys now. It's the new thing. Everybody's got to have a black jersey, except DC.
Why do they gotta steal our thing?
So just to mess with you guys. Like, kick them while they're down.
Got the money now.
Yeah,
That's what
money
it is.
FC.
I got to admit, the GIF that somebody put up on Reddit of the fan on the like a TFC fan like flipping money at Defoe after he celebrated his goal, and you can just see this like clouds of like fake money, or maybe it's real money. You never know, but it's like
Yeah, I think that
clouds
those
of
figures
money
that
flying around him. It was
At this point.
I might actually still have one of those monies in my back
Toronto
pocket
is
from Saturday.
literally throwing money at the team at this point.
yeah, it's just
And after the match, there was fake money, like Monopoly money, almost like scattered everywhere around the stadium. It was everywhere. They littered the grounds quite efficiently with all that fake money. So that was excellent.
it feels.
Wait, so was
It kind of feels like some sort of like Roman Colosseum era thing where like you guys are, like you are the Roman Senate and you're just like throwing gold at people and like get out there and entertain me, plebe.
A real great Gatsby feel going on up there.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, I know. I never think of Toronto in wild, crazy affluence in the same breath, but.
It was good. It's been more packed than I've seen it in years. Just trying to get outside of the stadium at the end of the game from my seat, was quite a headache. I have never been, I remember going to high school concerts, like some punk concerts when I was in high school years ago, and I remember thinking that was packed. This is a whole nother level. Like,
Wow.
I had like 8 people touching me at one time trying to leave the stadium,
Seeing the line of Rolls Royces trying to get out of that.
The traffic jam of gold-plated Hummers.
And what I'm trying to say is, like, the excitement is back. It is a fantastic atmosphere. People are going crazy. There's a buzz in the city. People are asking me constantly, more so than even a couple weeks ago, what's going on with the team. And people actually want to come out to games and spend money. Last year, trying to, I could buy $3 tickets off StubHub. Now, I was looking before the weekend, the cheapest was like $90, something like that. And the ticket face is like $22, right? So, I mean, the excitement's definitely back. They played well. The Foles got 3 goals. We got 20% of the points already that we ended up with last year at the end of the season. So we finished, I think it was with 29 or 30, and we got 6. So that's, we're doing pretty good. So I don't want to jinx anything, but I have a feeling we'll make the playoffs.
Yeah. And that whole Michael Bradley running over the ref was
that was hilarious. I feel bad for Petrescu, which is the first official during that match. But, yeah, he got trampled over quite nicely.
And laying on the ground, he turns over and he sees Bradley get fouled and calls a foul from the ground. That is.
I mean,
Petrescu's
like
Impartiality at its finest.
Petrescu's got to be like one of the calmest guys though. As a referee, I think he never ever makes a facial expression. He just like talks. He talks like this, blah blah blah.
He's like a robot. He's the robot.
Yeah.
MLS referee.
Refbot. I like it.
Refbot. Yeah.
Who misses the replacement scab referees? Nobody. Maybe
Seattle fans?
Seattle fans, maybe. No,
Salazar, something like that.
Yeah, well,
it was about to be week 3. Seattle was due for a hilarious judgment to go their way or something, right?
I don't know. Is that a football
Anyway.
reference? Yeah.
Yeah, it's or something like that. So DC, I feel like we actually played okay. I mean, we deserved to lose, but I don't know. 1-0 was fair. It's up in Toronto. It's really cold up there. You guys conspired to screw up the pitch against Eddie Johnson,
yeah, sure.
who handling the ball with his feet is very important to him, apparently, now.
So it's a good thing we didn't play in the Sky Dome this year, because normally we start our matches in the Sky Dome, right? And not this year.
Yeah, that's right.
And so that was a good call on us. Now I've been looking at the pitch for weeks before the match, and they really try to get that thing in shape. Like they were heating that thing for weeks on end, just nonstop through the cold, through the warmth. You got to put a roof on that one. And once you put a roof on the stadium.
How do those guys feel then? After they put in all that work, and then Eddie Johnson goes in there, plays for 90 minutes, and is mostly bad. And he talks shit about the pitch. And how does that make that's got to make the groundskeepers feel like a little bit sad, right?
Well, I would imagine, but before I went to the match on Saturday, I actually went to the meeting for the stadium expansion at BMO Field, where Tim Leiweke talked about the plans that were going to happen with the stadium. And he says didn't expect it to rain as much as it did last year, because there's only 2 games where it didn't rain at all, where it was going to call for rain during the match day, like the day before, at BMO Field. And number one thing is a roof. A roof with that wind down by the lake is going to really save us for, just keeping a nice pitch throughout the year. I think it's going to be one of the biggest things that happen in terms of improving the quality at the stadium. And I mean, they're looking at spending $120 million to put into the stadium, right?
Is it going to be retractable?
No, it's going to be open air, and you'll have basically just four roofs over.
Oh, for the
stands.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then just to keep the spectators, and then for the pitch, it'll keep the wind down off the pitch, right? Which should help out with keeping the pitch a little colder. So hopefully next year we'll allow you to score a couple more goals, but this year we're going to be one-sided and have a torn-up pitch a little bit.
I'm okay with that.
They'll just have to create more excuses for Eddie Johnson.
I gotta say, I'm looking at the stats for this game. Not that I'm normally a huge stats nerd, but it's crazy if you were to look at everything except the passes into the box. DC looks really good. Their passing accuracy is way better. They had almost twice as many passes completed. They had 62% of the ball. Ostensibly, they did everything right except get the ball into the box in incredibly dangerous positions, which Toronto did. But this is the same thing that happened to Toronto when they played against Seattle. They hardly had any of the ball, and they still come away with a win. And here they are again doing the same thing, just playing this really, really fast counterattacking style. I mean, watching the highlights, I kind of get the impression that they are a team that's just going to sit back and wait for a chance to just run at people when they're stretched or a little out of position. But it wasn't just an accident. This is the plan. This seems to be. It's got to be intentional. Nobody gives the other team that much possession.
You hear what Bradley said last week, right? About possession not being the be-all, end-all of everything, right? So, I mean, I love to see possession-based football when you're, at home at the very least. But I mean, if we're still winning games, then it's not happening, and I don't really have an issue with it at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And we talked with Steve Fenn, the big stats guy, a couple weeks ago, and he would say that passes into the box are pretty damn important. Among, and I feel like that is the thing that gets lost is you can pass it around like Barca does, and just stay around the box, never really do anything sometimes, or you can make those direct passes, make those cutting passes, wait for those just amazing through balls that Bradley seems to play at least 3 or 4 times a game, and I mean that's how you guys scored, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bradley to Gilberto to Defoe, and those are your guys, and that's how TFC is going to work, and I think it's actually going to be really fun. I mean, they might not have the ball a lot, but I don't think that matters so much, and Bradley knows that, and they all know that, so.
Mm-hmm. It seems like they're comfortable with it too. A lot of teams kind of freak out without the ball, and they don't seem to do that.
Total 180 from last year, right? I mean, especially now last 15 minutes of match. Still kind of nervous for them to concede that goal, but it's not as much as last year because the chances aren't getting put on
You guys
net
were
as
playing
much, right?
DC. Come on.
Yeah, but you guys had a good off season too.
I mean, here's the thing. So TFC, both of our clubs, Dennis, made huge offseason adjustments. You guys have found an identity already, like right off the bat, and we're still looking for one. And I feel like that's huge.
So what
Obviously,
does
that's
DC need to
huge.
do? What does DC need to do at this point to get themselves into a playoff contention spot?
Well, I don't know. I think Ben Olsen needs to figure out what he wants to do with his roster because I mean we're playing with Davy Arnault, who's sort of an attacking midfielder, but honestly he's a little bit more comfortable playing next to Kitchen. But we've also got Luis Silva out there. Chris Pontius is going to come back at some point, but who knows how effective he'll be. I think MLS adjusted to Nick DeLeon permanently. I think he might not be as effective as he used to be. And so basically, there's only one guy in Silva right now who can get it to Espindola and Eddie Johnson. And I think I don't know that Espindola and Eddie Johnson is. I mean, they were both solid, established MLS forwards, but I don't know, that they really complement each other that much. And maybe they do, but we're only 2 games in. The biggest thing though is that the back line needs to mold. That's an entirely new backline from last year. 4 new starters. Kitchen is supposed to be able to stabilize them, but that hasn't happened yet. Hamid also, but they're both of those guys are younger than everybody else in the backline. So, and
just make you manager in that case. That's what I'm hearing. Sounds like you got a plan.
don't do that. Don't do that. Not today.
Well, let's move on. We have one of the most exciting matchups of the week. 2 of the top Western teams from last year in LA and RSL. So surely we got the most exciting match out of them, right, everybody?
Oh, God. Who else watched some of that? Yeah, blocked it from memory.
I watched the condensed version.
Yeah.
And that was rough.
I watched the 6-minute highlight reel, and that wasn't very good.
Was that rough too?
Yeah. I don't know. It's Salt Lake seems just a little out of sorts. They're still obviously one of the better teams in the league. Just they haven't lost any of their roster, and they're